U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
And the original. Actually, I think the remake is better.
Interesting.
Because they're more like mutants instead of just like hill people.
Hillbillies. Yeah. It's they're very interesting movies.
Of being on an outer space mission for a year without ever leaving Earth. The 4-person crew exited their simulated Mars mission late Saturday after 378 days locked in a 3D printed space in Houston. They lived, worked, and conducted experiments as if they were living on the Red Planet. The next crew begins their year-long mission in 2025. Still to come on PBS News Weekend. Concerns about how Amazon is handling some patient calls.
Okay.
It didn't Wrong Turn. They literally fused it with other movies too. I haven't seen any of those, but I think it reminds me of Jeepers Creepers, which I was watching it, and I was like, "Oh, this is real cool!" Like they're like tracking down a serial killer, and then it's like, "Oh, it's actually a supernatural creature." I was like, "That's fucking stupid!" Like to play it up like it's an actual human killer, and then it ends up being some supernatural monster they have to defeat. Get the fuck out of here!
Quiet Place is amazing.
Yeah,
I didn't see Bird Box.
I showed my mom A Quiet Place, and because she like hates scary movies, but I'll show her ones that are really good. Like I fucked her up with the Babadook. She couldn't sleep that night because of it.
I still haven't watched it.
It's all right.
Like all those movies are so boring. Paranormal Activity, like the
Paranormal Activity sucks. I turned that shit
demon
off.
shit.
Turn that shit off.
I only have a soft spot for Paranormal Activity because I saw the second one in the cinema with a group of friends, and when the cupboards exploded, I burst out laughing because it was so stupid. And every time something's about to happen, there's a rumble. It's literally telling you it's coming, so you can predict them. They're so shit, and that's the only reason is because it's like a core memory.
Yeah, if
like seeing that movie in the cinema.
As far as like fucked up movies, it's Martyrs and Old Boy are required watching. Like if you haven't seen Old Boy, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but you should go watch it.
Old Boy, is that the kind of animated one?
No,
that's Old God, I think.
Old Boy is by Snowpiercer. So it's that's one of the guy who did this movie. That Snowpiercer is from him, but he also did this movie Stoker, which is so fucking good. That's his other American movie, but it's basically about how like serial killers like run in the family type stuff.
Interesting.
But Stoker is really fucking good because it's like an uncle showing the daughter how to like kill or something like that. But like Old Boy is Korean, yeah.
Okay.
And it's not a horror movie.
It's that movie.
It's not a horror movie. Oh, nor is it a martial arts movie. People think that it's one or the other going in. It's neither.
Mad God is the movie that I was thinking about, and it was made by the guy Phil Tippett.
Audition is really good too, but it is a little long to set the stage and stuff, which it pays off in the end to really set the stage for why the ending happens. But Audition is also a masterpiece.
This guy is a VFX artist, and this movie is basically a VFX reel, essentially. And this guy did the VFX for Jurassic Park, Starship Troopers, and RoboCop. And apparently this is like a super disturbing movie. But there's enough movie talk.
No, but it's not about disturbing. Old Boy is just good. Period. We can talk about whatever we want if it's getting engagement.
Are usually a time for patriotic campaigning with flag-waving supporters.
Cringe.
But this year, neither of the leading candidates is on the campaign trail following their first debate last week with President
Battle Royale. What is Battle Royale?
It's the Hunger Games before the Hunger Games.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I love the teacher in Battle Royale is really, really good. He's in a lot of movies. But
trying to reassure
Battle Royale is literally where the game genre comes from, is from the movie.
Oh, that's funny.
So like these students they're all selected to go to this island and only one can live, but they're also given random packages. So like one person gets a frying pan, and then they like rig it so that they have like ringers in there, the MLGs, right? And I think they give one of them an Uzi. So they all have different items, and like some of it, like it might just be equipment for survival, or it might be like a weapon. It depends.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
It's pretty good.
Times
on the
halting
list.
performance, and his challenger Donald Trump.
It's better than the
doing
Hunger
little to
Games.
distract
Better
from his
characters.
opponent's
Better
struggles
character development than the
in
Hunger
a 4th
Games.
of July.
Because like they made that mute girl, like it's supposed to affect what is it? Candace? What's her name? Everdeen. Candace Everdeen?
Katniss.
Evergreen? Katniss. So like they made the mute girl. She's in one scene, and then the next scene she's like dead, and we're supposed to care.
Yes, yeah. It's like they have their 5-minute touching moment, and then she's dead.
I gotta go potty.
Interview with Wisconsin radio station WAUK.
Well, yes, and that the jump scares is because of fucking Paranormal Activity. It's the worst thing they've ever given cinema, found footage, is
Look,
jump scares.
This maybe this Saturday, maybe even tomorrow, I'll do a whole movie stream where I'll talk about movies and recommend stuff, and we'll do it somewhere where I can show trailers and not get fucking tagged for copyright.
Yeah, like Twitch. But they're also like some of the best horror movies, practical effects. Look at Alien. Look at The Thing, right? Look at Hellraiser. All of them are practical effects. Star Wars, a lot of practical effects as well as like animation, sort of revolutionary animation sort of shit, I'm pretty sure.
In the Hellraiser, you know, when they're raising the meat man,
Yeah,
and it shows the heart pumping, you know what they did with that? What it was?
no idea.
It's a plastic bag. It's a sandwich bag.
Seriously?
Yep. That's why
That's
it can
great.
inflate. They're just blowing air into a sandwich bag that's fucking blood red.
That's very funny.
Biden said he
But that's that what I was getting to with this is the movie that I said, Mad God. I still haven't watched it because it looks fucked up. It's all sort of from this guy who does special effects. So I'm not sure whether it's practical or CGI. I'm not really sure. It looks great.
he did not have a good debate last
Yeah, as it should be. Aliens is fantastic.
Thursday.
Like, why are people so unable to write female characters? I don't understand. It happens in video games. It happens in fucking movies. It happens in TV. It really isn't that hard. You write them like a fucking normal human being instead of trying to prop them up as this like crazy sort of what do they call them? Mary Sues. Like it's why people don't like Rey in the new Star Wars. It's why those movies would be fine if it wasn't for the way that the Disney writes female characters. I'm dead set on this, that this is why Disney has fucked up Hollywood for women, because they only want women characters Disney-fied. That's my hot take. How about that? It's like, I really don't think it's that hard. Look, it's rainbow capitalism. Let's just put it down to that. But like, some of my favorite games are female-led roles, and they're great. Like Horizon Zero Dawn is a perfect example of how to write a fucking character without having to pander to the gender or whatever. Like, also having the ability to choose your pathway of like communication in the game, excellent addition. Being able to choose responses, great addition for something like that. So you can choose to be a bit friendlier to people who are like coming on to you and shit, or you can tell them to get fucked. I'm not actually sure if it impacts the end of the game or not, or whether it's just like lore. But you know, I just don't think it's that hard to write a female character. I just think that these people try too hard, and they want them to be this. They're trying to write female characters to fill the role of the typical male hero, which is not what they need to do. They need like men and women are not the same. You cannot write women like men and have it work. You need to write women characters like women, like they're real fucking people. Like the male archetype is there because it's that that artificial stereotype, which is dumb as well. What movie do you watch that's like, oh, the hero male stereotype, and you're like, that's the guy that I care about? I feel like none of them matter unless it's the specific movie is focusing just on them. All the side characters are better than the archetypal male hero. They're all better. Every single one.
A bad night. I had a bad night. And the fact of the matter is that, it was, I screwed up. I made a mistake.
Hey, we've been on this for a while. We talk about cinema all the time. We watched all of like offline, like just behind scenes, just in DMs and shit. We're sending cinema shit all the time. John did documentary stuff. Like the early stuff on the 5th Gen channel is all stuff that he filmed himself. But we like, I want to do documentaries, so I need to learn all this stuff. He already has a base knowledge in the industry. Like, we were going to do a Ghost in the Shell thing. It just kind of like, we got distracted by the streams and shit. So we'll eventually do this kind of stuff. Also, once I have enough money that I don't, or once I'm in a position where I can focus more time on this, I want to produce some gaming content, sort of review stuff, movie stuff, just more on the pop culture side of things. But we've been here for a little bit. Also, as I was saying, it's not even progressivism. It's literally just writing women as women. The other thing is, like, I don't understand why women can't write women characters. It just doesn't make sense. It must be an industry thing. That's the only explanation that makes sense to me.
And, but I learned from my father, when you get knocked down, just get back up.
The Biden campaign's trying to help get their candidate back up with endorsements from leading Democratic Party governors, including New York's Kathy Hochul.
Boo!
Tell you today,
Boo!
President Joe Biden is in it to win it.
Fuck this bitch.
And all of us said we pledged our support to him because the stakes could not be higher.
Trump allies in
Not the
Congress
best
are
source.
feeding Democratic Party anxieties about Biden. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
I think they know they have a serious problem, but it's not just political. It's not just the Democratic Party.
Politics.
It's the entire country. We have a serious problem here because we have a president who, by all appearances, is not up to the task. And these are very dangerous times.
We got a big segment on Australia because I'm not sure if anybody's heard. Labor kind of I'm trying to find corroborating sources for this, but apparently they've launched inquests into people who have more loyalty to their religion over the party because of their vote on Gaza or Palestine recognition. So yeah, that's fun. So we got that coming next.
Post-debate polling by CNN shows 56% of Democrats and Democratic-leaning registered voters now saying they have a better chance of winning with a candidate other than Biden. All campaigns go through cycles, says University of Texas history professor Jeremy Suri, but questions about Biden's health are here to stay.
He might still win this election. In fact, he still might be the favorite to win this election if he stays in. But his campaign was hoping that the debate would put the concerns about his health to rest. Those concerns about his health will not go to rest. They will be with us if he stays in the campaign every day of the campaign.
The Trump campaign had no public events this week.
There has to be serious discussions inside the Democratic Party about Biden staying in the race, and like they can't let him stay, surely. Like, politically, it's suicide. Politically, it's a bad move. Politically, it gives Trump too much to run off. It gives Trump supporters too much to run off. Like, if they're really wanting to win this, I think John's right. I think they need to they need to replace him. But I don't know. Yeah, but look at all the people who are like, I'd never support Trump, and then stop and endorse Trump, or they say I'm not endorsing Biden, then they endorse Biden. Right? It's all politics. It's all posturing. The people who have already endorsed Biden are people like Hakeem Jeffries, like Gavin Newsom, right? These people who are pretty high up there in contention with like pretty high positions in the Democratic Party and like politics. So why wouldn't they back the current leader? It makes sense for their political careers. They're not trying to create waves, right? Unless someone does want to create waves and put their hand up and be like, can I run? Like, hello, I'm 47 years old here. He's twice my age. Like, give me a shot. Fuck yourself. Yeah, that's exactly my point, right? When it comes down to it, when the vote actually happens, who is actually going to not vote and give Trump potentially more votes? So it really does not make any sense to me that people would be it's kind of like how it doesn't make sense to me that world leaders would be torpedoing relations between the United States and other countries just because there's a potential that Trump could get back into power. Why? Like, keep it going. Like, why are you fucking people over because of a potentiality? Aren't you an independent state? What the fuck is happening? Like, I just don't understand why other countries aren't going on the world stage. Why are you torpedoing relations? Why are you making things harder for everybody? Why are you advancing the positions of the bad guys, right? Whoever that might be, by holding them off. It just doesn't make sense. So nothing about this race makes any sense. And if I was a conspiracy theory dickhead, I would be right in Trump's circle. Like, there's no fucking way. Everything is so suspicious. I completely sympathize with people who are in conspiracy land and unreality. I completely fucking sympathize with it. But
so I just went to wash my hands, and I had like no water pressure because I just flushed the toilet, right? And because I can only have one source of water at full power in my house. The pipes are just so shit, right?
Yeah.
So I realized, oh, I left my hose on from earlier, so there's just been a hose on outside for hours now. So I had to turn on the lights and go outside and find the spigot in the dark.
Excellent.
With a statement saying it would, quote, continue to build off the momentum earned by President Trump to grow our movement, raise the money we need to win, and head into the fall poised for a historic victory. Trump marked 4th of July with a video on his Truth Social website in which he said, America is one of the greatest stories ever told.
We will never forget that we are Americans and the future belongs to us. The spirit of American independence will never fade, never fail, but will reign forever and ever and ever. To every citizen throughout our land, have a glorious Independence Day.
With his Republican.
That was cringe.
Better than whatever Biden did, I'm sure.
Party preparing for its political convention this month, Trump may benefit from a more moderate approach as his opponent struggles, says University of Texas professor Suri.
What Donald Trump
they
would
had
want.
Kesha come out and sing on 4th of July, and I just posted, who? You mean the girl who sang the New Year song while you could hear a bum peeing in the background? That lady? Who the fuck is Kesha? You know? We talk about washed up and irrelevant, huh?
I think we've spoken about this before. No, it won't. They won't get closer to China. There's no way. China is actively trying to fuck the entire global north over.
I disagree. That's why Macron has been doing stuff with China, is because they're worried about Trump coming to power. Just the threat of Trump has moved people close to China. Yeah. That doesn't mean that France wasn't the first ones to do like the EV ban. You know?
Well, the tariffs have actually come in now, so they've actually implemented them.
Yeah. But this was like a while ago.
But also, like, they've never not been close with China. Like that, they've always
but
ties
Macron
with China.
like this is like a common analysis is that Macron's like foreign policy right now is setting up a contingency if Trump comes to power, because Trump can't disband NATO, but he can withdraw the United States, right? And might not get impeached for it. So. I've said before, if that happens, it just gives the EU their EU army.
Yeah, and then we'll instantly see war in Europe. You watch.
I mean, there is war in Europe.
Europe proper.
Oh, come on! Don't say that about Ukraine.
When I say like Europe, Western Europe, I should say. It'll be closer to Western Europe than the ex-Soviet bloc. You know, because there's been ex-Soviet bloc conflict since it crashed.
You mean shitty America?
Shitty America?
Not just the United States, because the French obviously represent Quebec. Like, Quebec! You know?
I genuinely think that if Europe has control over a military force, the first thing they're doing is fighting Russia. But... And then what's America going to do? Sit and laugh?
Trump is going to say that, and then
Trump will probably side with Russia and fight on Russia's side because he's a fuckwit.
If Russia's paying us a lot of money.
Yeah, it would be the world's biggest mercenary group.
Yeah,
the U.S. Army.
He tried to do that. That's one of the things that he tried to do after he fucked over the Kurds. Is he literally said Saudi Arabia is paying us a lot of money to have these troops. So we're taking them from the Kurds who don't respect us or give us anything.
Amazing.
Saudi Arabia, they're our great friends. They give us a lot of money. Literally, very much that's what he said.
Yeah.
And it literally, that was the reputation, is that the United States is now a mercenary group under Trump. Because it happened multiple times.
Yeah, it would be English, but it would be trilingual. It would be multi-language. It would have to be.
Yeah, but it would be specifically, it would focus on broken French just to piss them off.
Only to show vigor, but to show reasonableness.
You know how we already adopt French
make
words?
it so
like bone apple, like people will unironically say bone apple tit. You know, all those things where it was people who do the wrong writing or spelling of the word when they do a tweet or something. All those French mistakes is going to be the real language.
So it's not a liar versus a feeble old man, but maybe a feeble old man versus a reasonable candidate.
The Biden campaign is pushing back against calls for their candidate to step aside following his debate struggles.
Get out.
With $50 million in paid media for July and an aggressive campaign schedule this week. Biden told
Who's the lady
Friday
there? Was that one of his
staying
aides?
in the race. Voter Sabrina Jordan says he's still a viable candidate.
She looked really young. She looked like a child, but also she was as tall as him and all legs.
He should be, I won't say defiant, but somewhere between consistent and defiant. He needs to let people know, and he did today, that he ain't going nowhere. And unless something changes dramatically, he is the man for me.
Voter Jonathan Listag was not so sure.
The physiology that he displayed, he is not the same man. You can't turn back. We're not getting younger. You can't beat old age.
Seeing Biden back on the campaign trail after the debate,
the most reasonable take I've seen on it is that man's just old, needs to retire.
Yeah.
The concerns of registered Democrats.
Yeah.
Bro, go sit on a beach somewhere. You've earned it. Like, fucking hell.
Democrat Alice Johnston.
I don't
He
feel
does.
confident in Joe Biden's ability to win this election, and that makes me very afraid.
Yeah, that's
it's
the thing.
confidence in his ability to win
That's
getting
what I was
people.
trying to explain to my mom. It's not about that we don't think that it's his ability to govern. It's his ability to win. That's the issue.
Supporters Biden's sometimes halting debate performance reconfirmed their view that he's not fit for another term. California voter Lamont Pearson.
There's nothing that can come out of Joe Biden's mouth to make me think anything other than what he's already
Is this
shown.
the same California party that CNN got interviews at?
No.
Must be. It
Voice
has
of
to
America.
be. It looks exactly the same.
Voice of America did another story here.
As well
That's
as
what you're
VOA.
thinking of.
Biden's
That's what you're
debate
thinking
performance
of.
is not the
You're
whole
thinking of
picture,
two
says
different
Georgia voter
stories.
Jeffrey Tannerelli.
Okay.
I think Joe Biden is very passionate and very intelligent. I think he did not perform well because he did not meet the
I'm going to double check that Never Trumpers story because I'm pretty sure it's the same place.
expectations, and his performance was what people expected of him.
That lack of energy leaves Washington, D.C. voter Hannah Zabolovich open to a new candidate.
It was kind of clear to me that maybe Biden's not as with it as he used to be, and I think I'd be supportive if they put up another candidate rather than Biden.
If Democrats are to have a different nominee, they need to move quickly, says Michigan voter Alexis Zaidan.
There's a lot of conversations that need to happen within the next, month around what could the Democratic Party do to bring all of its fractured vote, like its fractured base back to its core and hopefully build strong ahead of November, or we will be looking at a Trump presidency.
Biden's vice president and running mate Kamala Harris would be at the top of the list to replace him as the party's candidate, but that may not work, says California voter Stephanie Bowers.
Kamala would take over, which I would.
She's the only one. It's
Yes.
not. It's either Trump or Kamala. We need to stop pretending that it's like a new primary where Bernie can get elected again or something.
Love, but I also think with the world being the way it is, all the prejudice going on, that Trump would probably beat Kamala more so than beating Biden.
Are you serious? Come on.
The nominee, his campaign has First Lady Jill Biden meeting with military
Are you
families in
kidding
3
me?
states this week.
People
And the
voted
president
for Obama just because it thought that they weren't racist anymore. White guilt single-handedly got Obama elected.
Soundbite.
counter programming next week's Republican Party convention with
It's
remarks
just
in
the
Texas
truth.
and Nevada. Scott Stearns, VOA News.
Calling from a 954 area code. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Yo, is this me?
Yep.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?